Alright guys, so we decided to go ahead and replace the oil cooler on this Jeep. It's going to be fun, it's going to be a project. I hope this video helps you out. And yeah, share the video out, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let's get started on this project. So I'm going to go over some of the tools you're going to need. Now you might not need all of these tools, it's just what I laid on my cart. You're going to need some standard sockets, like always. You're going to need these special E-sockets, and the only one you're going to use is the 8. All right, because this is going to be what you're going to need to get the actual oil cooler off of the Jeep. It's a special socket for like 4 bolts. Maybe some vice grips, socket wrench, these picks for the gaskets and the O-rings to replace them, and just some odds and ends. Definitely an impact to get the manifold off. Probably going to need an extension with that impact. And yeah, that's basically all the tools you're going to need to do this oil cooler job. Let's get started. So guys, what you want to do first is drain your fluids. I am draining the oil right now, or at least what's left that has not leaked out yet. Dude, I always hate doing this. There it goes. All right, the next thing you want to do is undo the drain for the coolant, which is located on the passenger side. Make sure the bucket's down there. So what we're going to first do is take the air box and the throttle body stuff off, work our way up to the manifold, and then it's going to get really interesting because our oil cooler is actually laying down in this valley here. So we're going to have to take all this off. We're going to have to move the wiring harnesses, the sensors. Yeah. And don't forget, on the back side of this tube, there is a sensor. Just a push in and pull like that. That's what it's going to look like. And then this is ready to come out. I've been trying to get this stripped bolt out for like 20 freaking minutes. I don't even care anymore, honestly. Oh, holy crap. It came out, dude. Heck yeah. Oh yeah, it was. I'm trying to figure out why it was so hard to freaking get out. I don't know. All right, now we can get this air box and tube out. Goodness gracious. And with this box, you just yank it up real hard. It should come unclipped. I said should. Okay, it should come. Oh, there it goes. All right, so after you get the air box and everything out of the way, you're gonna remove some more breather hoses. I already did this side. There's 2 of them on this side, and then you have 1 down here. You're just gonna pop that off like so, and now you're ready to start undoing some sensors on the manifold. Most of these are gonna be push and pull. You got 1 down here. I might need to get my pick. Pop that out. All right. Now popping the wire loom off of the brackets, just use your tool, pop them out like that. Dang it, that one broke. Get the wiring harness out of the way so you can have a little bit more room around the throttle body. Now staying in the same area, you're gonna have 2 bolts. One of mine's missing, I don't know why. So you're gonna have a bolt there and a bolt there, and then you're gonna come to this side to, let me move the light for you, to those 2 bolts right there on the studs. You're gonna remove those 2 to remove that bracket. So the next step, you're going to have to get up into the engine, close to the firewall, because you're going to have 2 brackets. Normally the Jeep will have a piece of foam there with 2 Christmas trees. You just pop them out with your pry tool, nothing to it. But this bolt is going to be a 10 millimeter, and the bolt over here is going to be a 10 millimeter. You're going to have to undo those and remove those brackets. All right, got 1, got 2. So after you get done with those bolts, taking it off the bracket, you're gonna come back to the driver's side, and you got 2 more bolts holding this bracket on before you could take the top of the manifold off. All right, so once you got these nuts out, just slide the bracket like that. You just want enough room so the manifold, when you take it off, can clear. You're finally ready to take the top of the manifold off. You're gonna have 7 8mm bolts. You're gonna have 3 on top and 4 on the bottom. Got the top portion of the manifold off. Now I got to work on getting the bottom part out to get to the oil cooler housing. Let's see what we got going on down there. Now what you want to do is take these bolts on the bottom of the manifold out. They are 8mm also. With reality of working on vehicles, guys, nothing's going to go perfect. I just dropped one of my sockets down the manifold. Now, honestly, I probably could wait until I take the lower part of the manifold off to get to it. I'm trying to grab it before it goes down there even further. Do I got it? I got something. Yay, I got it. So I'm going to show you guys this because there's not a lot of videos on YouTube that does. But in order for you to get this lower manifold out, like I got it loose, right? You don't have to take the fuel rails off. You can leave those. But you have little sensors right there with the red tabs on them. You got 3 running down this side. You have to disconnect those from the fuel line in order to manipulate the bottom and a half of the manifold over to this side. You can leave these connected because you're going to just flip it over to access the oil cooler. But you're definitely going to have to disconnect those. Right there. As soon as you have the bottom manifold off, you have access to the oil cooler. Finally, now what you want to do at this point is find some rags, paper towels, whatever you can find. Put in those manifold holes, ports, whatever you want to call them. Make sure you put something in them because when you start cleaning this valley out, you don't want any dirt, any nastiness, griminess going into those. It's very important. This is a very important step, guys. Make sure you put something in to block the dirt and debris. Now you're going to take your special socket at E8, and you're going to take the bolts out of the oil cooler down here. So before we install this new oil cooler, we're going to have to kind of assemble it first. Gaskets are going to set in where gaskets are supposed to. Right. You're going to flip it over and you're going to have more gaskets, and then on this piece right here you're going to have an O-ring that's going to fit on it. Now these are different size gaskets. I'm going ahead and doing that right now off camera because I can't hold and put the gaskets in. That would be crazy. Now what you want is to actually put the cooler top on. Make sure it lines up. And the cool thing about this Dorman oil cooler kit is it comes with new hardware. Just throw them right in here, just like so, and then you put the smaller bolts to connect your cooler to the housing, and you're good. Some assembly required. Now I'm just putting the 5 little screws in, and these have to be torqued down to a specific torque. Okay, since we're still talking about the oil cooler, we are going to have to take parts off the old one and put it on the new Dorman. It's obviously the 2 sensors at the bottom of the cooler right there, and those 2 will actually fit on the new oil cooler. But I will suggest using some thread tape just to make sure it's in there. Here's my only issue with doing this though, is the housing part is plastic. I am so afraid that I'm going to snap that and I'm not going to be able to get this out, and the bottom. And then I'm going to have to buy new ones. But we're going to try it. We're going to try it and see how successful that's going to be. I'm so scared I'm going to break that off. I'm going to hit it with some WD-40 real quick. See if that can loosen it up just a tad. Then we'll go from there. Right. So that took way too long, in my opinion, to get that out. But, guys, I did not break it. It came out in one piece. I had to crank on this sensor, dude. Like I said before I transfer it over to the new Dorman oil cooler, always thread wrap. It's just a little bit more security. When you clean it and re-thread wrap it, it should look like this, and now it's ready to go into the new Dorman oil cooler. This is what it should look like when it's all together. You have your sensors on the back of the Dorman oil cooler, just like that. A little tip, when you're putting this back in, before you get it down in that valley, I really urge you to connect the bottom coolant line, because it is much easier to connect it here than it is once you get it down there. And like always, do the pull test. If you could pull it off, use a different clamp, get it tight, because you definitely don't want that coolant line on the bottom of this popping off. Now make sure you drop your bolts in. You should have 4 bolts. After you got your new oil cooler installed, make sure you torque in the pattern that I'm showing you. It's very important. Follow the pattern and torque all the bolts down to 8.8 foot-pounds, which is equal to 106 inch-pounds. All right? 8.8 foot-pounds or 106 inch-pounds. It's very important to follow this process. And also, don't forget your 2 sensors. Make sure you plug those in. Okay, so my next step, guys, is to get these old crusty gaskets out. Now, this is part of the lower manifold. They're gonna do the same thing. Gonna get the old gaskets out, gonna clean this up really well, and we're gonna put the new gaskets in. You just need your little pick. I'm looking through the camera, that's why I'm not actually doing good. Let me look past the camera. All right, there we go. Yeah. Oh, nasty. Oh yeah. Yummy, get yourself some of that. I dare you guys to lick it. No, I'm joking. So when you get the new gaskets on the manifold, they're gonna look like this. I didn't record it because surely to goodness you guys know how to put on some gaskets. So I'm over here on my little workbench. Sorry about the little noise in the background. I got the heater on. It is snowing outside. So what I'm doing now is cleaning the manifolds off, and this one is pretty clean. I done cleaned it off. I try to get all the rubber, gasket, and nastiness and the material off so it's smooth. This one I'm working on. Just put something down in there because you don't want debris and rubber going down into the manifold. Yeah, I have 5 other ones to do. That looks like crap. I need it to look like this one. I know, guys, what you're going to say is I shouldn't be scraping it with a flathead screwdriver. I already tried scraping it with a plastic razor blade, and it wasn't doing anything. And these parts are just plastic, so not too critical. You still don't want to, like, go at it and just start, like, taking chunks out of it. But this, go over it really lightly. Keep it running on the surface and not straight down into the plastic. And you should be honestly okay. Like I said, we're just cleaning these up, getting all this silicone and crap and sealant off. But yeah, you should be okay if you just lightly do it. So after you spend about an hour scraping the residue and rubber and sealant off of the upper manifold, you're gonna hit it with either brake cleaner or carb cleaner. It will not hurt it, don't worry. Just spray it down real well. And try to clean all the rest of the adhesive off. The brake cleaner or the carb cleaner should loosen it up, and you can still pull dirt and gunk off. So go and do that a couple times, and then it should be ready. When you're all done cleaning, this is what it should look like. It looks like night and day. Oh my goodness. I'm happy I took the extra hour to clean it all up, and hopefully everything else will go smooth when I'm putting it back on the Jeep. Once you cleaned up the manifolds a little bit, you're ready to start putting stuff back together. Also, guys, a little tip and a note. With your lower intake manifolds bolts, there is also a pattern which is going to be on the screen, and you also got to torque them down 8.8 foot-pounds of torque or 106 inch-pounds. When you get done with your manifold gaskets, they should look like that. Now, these are pretty easy to install. That's why I didn't record. There is no upside down, right side up. Just stick them in the slots and push them down and make sure they are good. We're almost done putting the Jeep back together. Okay, so you just got your upper manifold back on, bolted down. Remember, guys, it's still a pattern and torque specs. You have to follow it. It's very important. Once you get the top manifold back on, you're ready to start doing the hoses, the vacuum lines here. I'm definitely looking through the camera. Now we're going to be working on the air box and the sensors. Make sure you clip sensors back in where they're supposed to be. That was my key finder. I have no idea why it's going off, but it's going off. Sometimes you might need to turn sensor a little bit to clear that notch there. I don't know why that's there. All right, make sure you go back and you double check all the sensors. You push and you pull test to make sure they're all connected firmly. All right, don't forget this little guy. He goes right here. Then connect the little plastic coupling thing. That's good. All right. Definitely don't want to forget your bracket. Slide it back on there. When you get your front bracket on, don't forget about your back bracket right here. Pop them in like that and put your 2 nuts on. And you cannot forget these brackets. Honestly, I probably could forget these brackets because I don't have that foam piece that goes across here anymore. I don't know what happened to it. It was gone when we bought the Jeep. But I'm just going to attach these brackets back here anyway. Now that you got done with those brackets, for me they're useless, but if you have the foam piece and stuff, guys, go on and put them in there. Once you get done with that, make sure you recheck all your vacuum hoses. Like that one just came off. So yeah, make sure you reconnect them, make sure they're on there good. And I guess while we have this space open before we put the air box and tube back in, you might want to put your new filter in the housing. Oh, yeah, look at that shiny housing. It is beautiful. And I know I've said this before, make sure you have your O-ring where it's supposed to be. If not, all this work would have been just for you to make a mess. And it definitely would make you mad. Yeah. So from personal experiences, make sure your O-ring is on the cap. So now you're ready to put your new oil filter in, guys. Make sure it has an O-ring on the very tip. A lot of times these are missing, could cause a leak, but make sure yours is on there. Just drop her down the tube. That was less dramatic than I thought. Once you get the cap torqued to spec, that's important. I know I said it a lot in this video, but specs and torque patterns are very important. So once you do that, you're ready to move on to the air box and the tube and the intake. So you know me, I like to clean off stuff before I put it back in the Jeep. So I'm definitely going to dust this intake box off. Oh, you can see the filter. Actually, the filter is like really nice, so I already checked that and it's clean. But I'm just going to dust the outside of this box off, especially the bottom, because once you press it in, you're not going to be able to get access to it. Once you get your intake box as clean as you can, you don't have to. That's just something I do. I'm really OCD. But once you get it to where you want it, it's ready to be put back in. Yeah, this one's all crusty and nasty. Look at all that on the bottom side. Yeah, I'm going to clean that up, wipe that down real quick, and we're going to put it back on the Jeep. Not perfect, but better than what it was. That was the goal. So it's ready to be put back on. Right, and the key with this is you got to keep moving it around until you find the 2 holes at the bottom, and then push on it, and it should snap down. You'll hear it and feel it. So once it's in there, you'll know. You just got to find them. It's like 2 little gaskets down there at the bottom, and they should snag it, and you'll hear a pop. When you get it in, it should react and feel like that. Just a little bit of wiggleness, not a lot, but it is locked in there. Now you're ready for your tube to your throttle body. Let's get it. I found it easy, to me at least, when I am doing the intake tube. Start at the throttle body first. Put that part of the hose on. Then kind of smash this up a little bit because this rubber piece allows it to bend. And then manipulate that into place with the box. And make sure the clamp goes on the box and line the bolt back up here. Then once you get everything lined up, make sure your bolt holes line up. Now, I'm only going to put one bolt back in because this one was stripped out. It took me literally 20 minutes to get this one bolt out. So I'm just going to put one in. Don't listen to me. Put both of your bolts back in if they fit. All right, now you got one more hose. Don't forget to re-put that on. That's such a sentence. Don't forget to reattach the hose for the airbox, all right, or else you will have a huge vacuum leak. And now you're ready to put your new oil in. Yay, the Jeep is finally back together. It's got new oil in it. Now, for those who drain the coolant out of your system, you're probably going to have to burp your coolant system to get all the air out of it so it don't overheat. I didn't, because when I went to drain the coolant, I undid the plug and nothing came out. So I got frustrated and I was like, screw it. So a little bit of coolant did come out when I pulled the line off of the oil cooler, but I'm hoping it wasn't enough to get air in it, so I will have to burp the system. If I have to burp my coolant system, I'll just burp my coolant system. It's not a big deal, but I'm just hoping that I got by without worrying about it. All right. Let the oil pressure build back up. Now, I'm going to tell you this, guys. When you do an oil cooler change, here, let me go sit back in the car, where it's all nice and kind of quiet. Okay, so guys, if you made it this far, your first startup is going to be a little rough. The oil cooler has got to fill up with oil. Pressure's got to build back up. So your engine's probably going to tick. It's probably going to grind. It's probably going to make all kinds of noises. No, your car or truck or Jeep is not broke. That's just how it goes. I know a lot of people don't tell you that. So right off the bat, first startup, you're freaking out like, oh my gosh, I broke my car. You did not. Give it some time. It will settle back down. The main thing, though, is to check for leaks. Now, I'm going to warn you, it is a mess under here, but that's all crap that came out when I did the oil cooler change. I don't see any leaks. Now, all that stuff up on the chassis is old leaks from the old oil cooler. Other than the mess I made, I really don't see no active leaks right now. Also check near the rear main seal. Don't see anything dripping down there. Everything's pretty dry right now, but I'm gonna let it run for like 15 minutes. See if the heat comes on and it don't overheat and stuff. If my video did help you out, guys, smash that like button. Also, don't forget to share the video out. And if you're not part of the Andy fam community, hit that subscribe button. Join the car family for more DUIs and car videos. Until next time, peace.